Hey, what's up guys? It's Bo here with Bojangles Detailing, and I hope you guys are having an amazing week. Today, we're starting off Monday with this beautiful 2010 Mustang GT that we're gonna be doing a full extensive paint correction, followed up with a ceramic coating. We're gonna be going through today all the steps that we do here at the shop to get your vehicle ready to look its best. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we're gonna go ahead and start by just pre-soaking this wheel a little bit. This is gonna loosen up all the contaminants on the wheel, and it's gonna allow us to get a safer clean on the wheel so we don't mess them up. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse that off now. It's kind of sat on there, so we're gonna rinse that off. We're gonna go ahead and go back in with the same exact product. Make sure you get inside the barrels there. So when we do this, we're ensuring that we are getting the sides, twisting this barrel brush around, making sure that we get everywhere when we are doing your rims and your tires, just because we want to get this thing as clean as possible. That is how we go ahead and prep all of our wheels, and we will go ahead and do this to the rest of the wheels and tires. So typically what I'll do next is our pre-wash. So this is going to allow us to wash this vehicle safely. It's been sitting in the shop, so there's a very light layer of dust actually sitting on it. So before we go ahead and do our contact wash, it's a great idea to go ahead and do a pre-wash. And with that, I like to use the high pH heavy foam soap from Imbue. I go ahead and add 4 ounces into the foam cannon. And then we go ahead and top that off and foam the vehicle down. So now that it is completely foamed down, I like to go ahead and start rinsing it. Now you can see that we completely got this thing rinsed down. Now there is obviously some sort of protection on this vehicle. It is going to get completely stripped off by the end of this. So if you still have this going on after you've already done your complete decontamination, a lot of the product will come off in the polishing stages, but you want to try and get a lot of this protection off before that so you don't gum up your pads. Go ahead and do the door jambs too. I want to show you guys what that looks like. Once again, a little bit of dark fury just to get a little extra bite. 10 to 1, spraying in between the door jambs. Make sure you get all the way on the bottom here as well, and back up. Once that stuff's been sitting for a few seconds, you can come back in and kind of agitate it. Again, remember, we got all the way down here at the bottom, so we need to get that nice and clean as well. And you can go ahead and rinse it out after that. We're going to repeat that process on the other side before we go ahead and foam down the rest of the vehicle. So now we're going to be going ahead and foaming down the vehicle with pH neutral soap. This is Neutral by MB once again. Love the smell of this soap. It's absolutely amazing. And we're going to go ahead and add 4 ounces to this foam cannon. If I can find the ounce part. 4 ounces. Okay. Go ahead and add our 4 ounces. Again, top it off and start foaming. I did forget one thing. This is more of like a summertime, springtime sort of deal. So if you have a lot of bugs on your front bumper or windshield, you can use a dedicated bug cleaner to go ahead and start breaking down those bug guts and contaminants a little bit better. I like to personally use is Dark Fury by Superior Products. I dilute it 10 to 1. You can also use Wheel Tire and Bug by Imbue. That is another great product. We're just out of it at the moment, so this is our backup. So we're gonna go ahead and just treat this as if there is bugs on the front bumper and the windshield, just so then you guys can see what the process looks like. If there's no bugs or anything on your front windshield, you can go ahead and skip this step and you can go straight into your whole foam cannon stage and a contact wash. Also like to go ahead and raise the windshield wipers just so you kind of get the whole underside. A lot of people, when they're cleaning their vehicles, they'll forget about this bottom part here. Go ahead and just lift the windshield wipers. Couple different ways that you can do this. You can do a 2-bucket method, which would include 1 bucket being your wash bucket and 1 being your rinse bucket. You can also do, which is my personally favorite, the multiple mitt method, MMM. Typically anywhere between 4 to 5 wash mitts, and I go ahead and set them in there. Typically 4 is what I do. If it's a bigger vehicle like an SUV, I'll do 5. I do 4 and I split the vehicle up into quarters, so there'd be 1 wash mitt there, one wash mitt there, and 1 wash mitt there. That splits that up. That keeps everything as clean as possible for you. Try to make sure your wash mitts are clean. We wash ours regularly here at the shop. So personally, that's what we do. You can also do that 2-bucket method as well. When I do this, I work from the top towards the bottom. So I'll just leave this wash mitt around the corner, and then I'll come back and hit the bottom at the end, just because I don't want to bring any contaminants from the bottom up. I want to make sure that when I am washing this, I'm doing it as safely as possible. I don't want to make more work for myself when I am paint correcting. So that is what you want to do. This is the body line. I try to typically find a body line to kind of stick to, so then I know what to look for when I come back. So you can see there, we just went ahead and used our first mitt, set it right there on the windshield. Now we're using our second mitt for this part back here. Iron remover and do a decontamination, iron decontamination. And we're also going to use our clay towel. With this being said, let's go ahead and start spraying this on there. My sprayer wants to cooperate. I spray this on all the glass and painted surfaces personally. I try to avoid the plastics as best as possible, just because sometimes iron removers do not react well with plastic. So when you're using this stuff, be very careful. A couple different types of clay. You got clay towels, you got clay bars. There's more synthetic clay bars and stuff like that as well. We typically have 2 different options here. We have a legit clay bar, or we have a clay towel. This is a lighter or medium grade clay towel from Nanoskin, and this is a more heavy grade clay. With this vehicle being as well maintained that it is, we're just going to go ahead and use the light to medium grade clay towel. It is going to go ahead and take all those contaminants off that we need to. If it was a more severe case, we would go ahead and step in with the clay bar. Just know when you do use any sort of clay, whether synthetic or real, it is going to lightly mar the surface on the vehicle. So it is recommended every time to do a light polish afterwards. I know there's tons of people out there who just do a clay and then they wax it. That will work, but that wax is only filling the micro mars and scratches, and by the time you wash it again, you'll see those mars. So it is very important to follow up with a polish of some sort to help remove those micro marring and scratching that you had done on that vehicle. So just to kind of prep the towel here, I have a little bit of waterless wash. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it, and I'm just gonna kind of keep this bottle with me. This is gonna help make sure that it's lubricated throughout the whole claying process. Now, after we've got this entire vehicle clayed, we can jump into rinsing it off again before spraying on our drying aid and drying this thing. Final step to this vehicle before we start drying is we're going to be spraying on a drying aid. Now this has a low amount of carnauba wax in it, so when we get done spraying it, yes, technically we are spraying a little bit of protection on, but it's got so little that if we just go back in with an isopropyl alcohol wipe before we do any sort of paint correction, it's going to get rid of all that carnauba, and we're going to be left with a nice, clean, ready to paint correct body. So let's go ahead and spray this on there. It's as simple as spraying it on there and rinsing it off, guys. Now we're gonna go in with our drying towel here. This is the Goblet towel from Fiber Factory. We're gonna go in and start drying. I love these towels. I mean, just look at that one swipe and it's just dry. So I love that. That's kind of the benefit of also this drying aid, whereas if the water would be kind of more flat, it would be harder to dry this vehicle. But now that we have that drying aid kind of on there, it makes drying this thing go so much quicker. You can see there, one swipe with that towel on the roof there, done. I would highly suggest staying away from chamois. I'm not a fan of them. I know a lot of people like them, and like I tell everybody, I'm not here to tell you what to do. All I can do is give you tips and techniques to make your detailing game better. So if you're stuck in your ways about that, have at it. You're just going to be creating more work for yourself. Ready. So we are all wrapped up on this 2010 Mustang GT. We got the paint all prepped, ready for paint correction and ceramic coating. So throughout the rest of the week, we'll be taking videos, and we'll include those here at the end of this video just to show you guys the end results. But hopefully you can take something from this video today and say that you've learned something. Hopefully we provided you guys maybe with a tip, trick, whether that's from actually detailing the vehicle, or maybe it's a product that you learned about today in the video that you never knew existed. So hopefully you learned something from it, but we're gonna go ahead and start getting the paint correction rolling on this thing. So, alrighty guys, take care.